Stop. This is a fake. The room went silent. Every head turned, and the billionaire Sheikh's sharp eyes landed on a young girl standing nervously in the corner. She was no lawyer, no bodyguard, and certainly not a business tycoon. She was the daughter of his maid. And yet, in that tense moment, her trembling words carried more weight than all the expensive suits in the room. The story begins in the dazzling city of Dubai, where wealth and ambition rise as high as the skyscrapers piercing the desert sky. Sheikh Khalid Al Mansour, one of the Middle East's most powerful billionaires, was preparing to close a deal that promised to shake the world of finance. It was a $2 billion oil contract, polished and perfected by a group of men who presented themselves as international investors. Their smiles were wide, their suits were flawless, and their confidence seemed unshakable. To Sheikh Khalid, the deal looked like a golden ticket to expand his empire even further, but behind the polished boardroom doors, not everything was as it seemed. The mastermind of this scam, a man named Viktor Romanov, had been planning it for years. He knew that if he could convince Sheikh Khalid to sign, he would walk away with billions transferred into hidden accounts across Europe. Viktor had fooled dozens of businessmen before, but this time, he aimed higher. Now, what no one knew was that fate had placed an unlikely hero in the Sheikh's household. Her name was Amina. She was just 19 years old, the daughter of Fatima, the Sheikh's maid who had worked in his palace for nearly a decade. Amina had grown up in the background of wealth, polishing silver, carrying trays, and watching business meetings from a distance. She wasn't supposed to be noticed. She wasn't supposed to speak, but she had one gift: she loved languages. While others in the palace brushed her off as the maid's girl, she spent hours teaching herself English, French, and even classical Arabic scripts. She read whatever old books she could find, borrowed notes from staff tutors, and practiced whenever she had a chance. It was this very gift that was about to save billions. The day of the signing was meant to be historic. Sheikh Khalid sat at the grand oak table, the heavy contract placed before him. The investors leaned forward eagerly, pens ready, their eyes gleaming with greed. Cameras were set to capture the moment, and in the back of the room, carrying a tray of coffee, was Amina. She wasn't supposed to be there. But her mother had begged her to help just this once. "Stay quiet, keep your head down, and don't disturb anyone," her mother had whispered, but as Amina placed the cups on the table, her sharp eyes caught something strange. The contract papers, though written in English, contained seals and notes scribbled in Arabic. The handwriting was odd, almost disguised. Curiosity pricked at her. She leaned closer when no one was watching, and that's when she saw it. A key clause in Arabic script, hidden in the margins, stated that Sheikh Khalid's oil fields would be temporarily transferred to the investors, effectively handing them ownership. The English translation cleverly disguised it as a lease agreement, but the Arabic told the truth. Her heart nearly stopped. For a moment, fear clawed at her throat. Who was she to speak up in a room full of powerful men? What if they laughed at her? What if the Sheikh got angry and fired her mother? But then she thought about her mother's sacrifices, the kindness the Sheikh had shown their family, and the devastating loss he would suffer if this scam succeeded. And that's when she whispered the words that froze the entire room: "This is a fake." At first, silence filled the air. The investors exchanged quick, nervous glances. The Sheikh frowned, his thick brows furrowing. "What did you say, girl?" he asked, his voice calm but dangerous. Amina's knees trembled, but she forced herself to speak louder. "The contract, it's fake. The Arabic text says you will lose your oil fields. It doesn't match the English translation." Gasps rippled across the room. The investors immediately tried to laugh it off. "She's just a servant's daughter." Viktor sneered. "What does she know about billion-dollar contracts? This is nonsense." But something in Amina's eyes, her conviction, her raw honesty, made Sheikh Khalid hesitate. He motioned for his personal lawyer to examine the contract carefully. Minutes felt like hours as the lawyer flipped through the papers, scanning both versions. Then, his face went pale. "She's right," the lawyer whispered. It's a fraud. Chaos erupted. The investors jumped to their feet, shouting denials, while security guards stormed into the room. Victor tried to escape, but the Sheikh's men blocked the exits. Phones were confiscated, passports seized. The scam that was supposed to strip a billionaire of $2 billion had collapsed in seconds, all because a maid's daughter spoke up. Sheikh Khalid rose slowly, his towering presence silencing the room. He looked at Amina, not with anger, but with something no one had ever shown her before, respect. You saved me, he said softly. And you saved my people. For Amina, it felt unreal. She had grown up invisible, dismissed by everyone as just the maid's daughter. Yet, in that moment, she had changed the course of history. News spread quickly across Dubai and beyond. Headlines read, "Servant's daughter saves Sheikh from $2 billion fraud. Young girl outsmarts international scam syndicate. A billionaire's fortune protected by the unlikeliest hero." But for Amina, the greatest reward wasn't the headlines. It was the fact that Sheikh Khalid personally offered her a scholarship to study law at one of the world's top universities. "You have the eye of a lawyer, the courage of a leader," he told her. "Your gift must not be wasted." Her mother wept tears of pride. Meanwhile, Victor and his team faced international trial, their scam exposed across the globe. And Amina? She was no longer invisible. She was proof that courage can come from the most unexpected places, and that sometimes, one voice, no matter how small, can save billions. The story of the maid's daughter became a legend, told not just in Dubai, but across the world. It reminded people that truth has power, and heroes can rise from the shadows, and it all began with a trembling voice in a grand room that dared to say, "This is a fake."